Hey bakers, so today we are going to make something that is so freaking delicious that if you've never been to where this item comes from, you need to go visit it and have said item. We're going to make beignets. Not only beignets, but we're going to make New Orleans Cafe du Monde style beignets. If I only had a cup of chicory coffee to go with this, it'd be perfect. So here's what we need. We need 2/3 of a cup of sugar. We need 1.5 cups of warm water, and you want to keep your water between 110 and 115 degrees. And here's why. If you make it hotter than that, you're going to kill the live bacteria in your yeast that we're going to add. And then we're going to add 2.5 teaspoons of yeast, or 1 package of these. You can use fast, you can use normal, it doesn't matter. And we're going to let this sit for 10 minutes. So getting all good and fermenty. In our stand mixer, we're going to add 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, 2 eggs, 2.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and 1.5 teaspoons of salt. And with your whisk attachment, you're just going to mix this up until fully combined. Our yeast and sugar water mix is well fermented now, so we're just gonna scrape it all and put it into our stand mixer, and we're gonna just mix it again. While this is mixing for about 3 minutes, get 7 cups of flour into another bowl. While using your whisk attachment, slowly add 7 cups of flour into your liquid mixture until it is just combined. After about 3 minutes of mixing all your wet and dry together, switch out your whisk attachment to your hook attachment. This is kind of what your dough will look like when it needs to be moved over to your hook attachment. Scrape this all off, set it on a hook attachment, and just let it mix for 10 minutes. Halfway through your 10 minutes of kneading your dough, you're going to add 5 tablespoons of room temperature butter and continue kneading for the rest of your time. Is all together. So in a well-greased bowl, we're going to dump our dough, cover it for 3 hours. Don't forget to spray your... It's coming. Don't forget to spray your plastic wrap on the top of it. Set it for 3 hours to sit. I like to put it just in my microwave because it's the perfect little home for it. And we'll be back. And then we'll make these, we'll cut these, fry these up, and we'll have some delicious beignets. Hey bakers, so we're about to pull our dough out and to start to fry our beignets. But before we do that, we need somewhere to put our beignets once they're fried. Now, a lot of people like to take a plate and put paper towels on it to let the oil kind of soak into the paper towels. The problem with that is the paper towel that is now saturated with oil is touching your beignet, meaning that bottom of that beignet or whatever it is that you're frying is going to get soggy because it's going to continue to absorb and collect that oil, losing its crunchiness. So here's what I do. Now, I did not come up with this. I've seen creators do this. However, I've tweaked it to be a little bit better. So what I do is I take a cookie sheet and I line it with paper towels, and then I take these grates and I put it on top of it, because what's going to happen is the beignet is going to sit on the grate, and then all that leftover oil is going to seep out of my beignet into the paper towel, easy cleanup, and the bottom of my beignet and or fried object is going to maintain its crunchiness. No soggy fried food, you guys. We want that crunchy, crispy goodness. Now, before you ask, I know some of you are going to ask, can you air fry these beignets? You can, but it's nowhere near going to be the same. I highly recommend these go into oil. So right now I have a pot set up with about 4 inches of oil, and we're going to go get our beignet dough, and we're going to start this puppy off right. I'm so excited. All right, bakers, so here is our dough. Look at how much that has risen. Oh, it's so yeasty and good smelling. I'm so excited. All right, I'm going to drop you down. So what we're going to do is, on a very, very well floured surface, we are going to just kind of spread it out. We're going to dump our dough. The dump. Oh, so good. So good. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to lightly flour. And we're going to kind of pat it out. We're going to fold it over in on itself. Fold it over in on itself. And then what I'm going to do is a little bit of flour. I am going to flip it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to roll this out to be a 1/4 inch thick. Dough is all rolled out, and then we're just going to cut it down to the size that you want. How big do you want your beignets? Remember, the bigger they are, the longer they take to cook. So I like to just kind of go down my middle, and I just like to make strips. I kind of make mine about an inch and a half, and then the same in length. You are going to get some weird shaped ones towards the end because unless you roll this out to a perfect rectangle, then who cares? It's a beignet. It's going in your mouth hole, and it's going to be delicious. All right, so while you're doing this, make sure you're getting your oil up to temp. You want it to be 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So our oil is up to temp, and all we're going to do is we're going to carefully drop our beignets into the hot oil and let them cook. This is something that you have to pay attention to. You want them to get lightly golden brown, and then you need to flip them. Once they are lightly golden brown and have been flipped, put them on your drip rack, and then I will show you the next step. Look at how beautiful and golden brown those are. All right, so here are our beignets that have been on the the drip rack, and they are just cooling. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to give them a beautiful douse of powdered sugar because that is the best way to eat them. You can also drizzle them with honey, but here's the best part. Okay, ready? You're looking for that beautiful hollow. Oh my God. So good! You guys have got to try scratch made beignets. And if you've never been to New Orleans or to Cafe Du Monde, you need to go. Now, if only I had a cup of chicory coffee.